get hurt by all the girls. They try his world for just a season.
Hi friends, welcome back to Librophiliac Knits. I'm your host Kat, and today we're having a little bit of a flashback. Sort of a gloomy day outside. Well, I do see a little blue, but the weather has taken a turn for the colder. It's supposed to get into the 50s for our max temperature, unlike last week when it was in the 90s, because Minnesota. And that meant that I thought it would be better to go back to our old pal, the screen, so that I can get as much lovely natural light as possible from the windows in front of me. But why not also let you get a little sneak peek at Mrs. Yarn, as Chase named her when she first came home with us. I keep talking about her because normally when I am filming, I am right there. I just flipped the chair I'm sitting in around in order to sit here and get good natural light. So now you get to see what is normally off screen that I am referring to. My big, lovely, beautiful loom with its project in progress. So what's going on? Hi, how are you? Welcome back. I said that already. It is still May. I am catching up on myself. I don't know if you've been watching my most recent episodes. I had an episode go terribly wrong and lost all sound. Hopefully that will not be the case today. And then I had already edited the next video in the series, and that was the last one I had, except for I was cleaning up my computer because I'm running out of space, and I discovered an old series of videos that I had done cataloging. That's not the word I want. Just following the progress of designing my own sweater. And I've decided that I'll put that together. It's from over a year ago, I think, at this point, but still worthwhile. So what did I want to tell you about? Oh, well, so today we are just going to talk about number 1. What am I wearing? Number 2, what am I working on? Number 3, today's episode, we are going to talk about what am I wearing? The Breeze Racerback Tank by Jessie Maed. This, here, I'll stand up for you. Maybe back up a little. Ooh, there's a narrowing. There. The Breeze Racerback Tank. Whoa, pull my pants up. Goodness. Look at that derby butt. Okay, sorry. This is a Jessie Maed pattern. I bought it ages ago. I think it's for purchase. There's another one. She was like, the year the Ripple Bralette came out, she was like the hottest ticket. And I think I purchased this instead. I wasn't in the mood for a Ripple Bralette. But there's another itty bitty tank top that is a free pattern of hers that I've been meaning to make. But anyway, I eventually decided on this one, and I bought 2 lovely skeins of Illimani Sabri yarn while I was on vacation last year in San Diego, in California. There was this super cute yarn shop. Might have had the word pearl in it. I will let you know or link it below. But the original pattern pictures for this pattern show a tank top that is very obviously faded from one color to another. And I thought that meant that was how much yarn you needed in order to make this. And I was trying to like keep it a little bit chill. So I bought this lovely oatmeal color. It's sort of like a taupe and white marl. And then I got another skein that's just white. And I was gonna do that fade. But I got a whole tank top out of one ball of yarn. And this fabric is so, I wish you could squish it. It's so soft and light and airy. It's a pretty big stitch gauge. Ironically, I did not gauge swatch, and I just had a feeling like, I don't know if this is just have been knitting for a long time or what, but I had a feeling that I didn't quite want to use the recommended needle sizes. And so I stuck to my size, but I used slightly different needles. And you'll have to look at my Ravelry page for that information because I don't remember offhand, but I did not perfectly follow the recommendations. And I'm real happy with the fabric. I think I might have gone down a needle size because I am a pretty loose knitter. And I had a feeling, I think it was supposed to be on US 7s and I used 6s maybe. That's all right. Or I might not have had a 7 available and that was part of the annoyance. I'm gonna bring this leg back around. So I whipped this out in like 2 weeks. You know, it helps when you have long shifts with not much to do. Working an overnight shift where your patient is just sleeping and not doing anything that really requires your assistance. It's a great time to get a lot of knitting done. So this was my one major finished object and the thing that I am wearing today. Anything that I would tell you about this in terms of like, no, I thought the pattern was written very well. I thought that the yarn was just as lovely as whoever it was that was obsessing about it, that made me obsessed about it years ago. Somebody bought this. Somebody that I followed on the internet years ago was talking about it, and I was Googling, and it's not sold anywhere near me, but I wasn't willing to buy it online for whatever reason. I think probably shipping fees. And so when I saw that it was something that was sold at that yarn store, I do love a yarn store when I'm on vacation, I was like, perfect. And then I only got 2 skeins. I was so circumspect in my purchases. And now here I am using it, and I only use 1 ball. And I have a whole second one. I might make another one of these because I could live in this. It's so comfy. It's exactly my speed. And I have a little ball like this big left of leftovers of this. I think I used like 86 grams of the 100 grams per skein, something like that. So I got like a little 14-gram ball left, good for a little stripey somewhere. Might even be less, it might be like 97. It doesn't matter. So this was my one major finished object. I'm very pleased with it. What else did I want to tell you? So many things. In other news, I have caught the spinning bug again. It's that time of year. I think I told you in my last episode that I did some house cleaning. If I didn't, let me tell you. I had a Jeep sitting in my garage for over a year that my mechanic told me was not drivable. And I donated it finally to a local radio station that we super love. It's called KFAI. If you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend it. They have an online presence. Go listen to them. They do the most amazing things. The like beats, rhymes, and democracy, for example. So good. And like a lot of local stuff. Like anybody basically can sign up. So on any given day, I never know what's on the schedule. I know on Saturdays there's a reggae hour or two that my partner's obsessed with because he loves reggae. Sometimes there's like EDM. Sometimes there's probably Somali music. We have a big Somali population in Minnesota, especially Minneapolis. If you're familiar with us, you may remember that one of our congresswomen is Somali and wonderful. And yeah, I mean, just whatever. It's all over the place and great. So we decided that we would give our donatable vehicle to the radio station. And that meant that suddenly I needed to clean up my garage because we were going to have 3 cars for the 3 drivers in the household, all parking indoors. And because the Jeep had been parked there for so long, it had started to like accumulate stuff on top of it, like boxes stacked on the hood and frisbees on the roof, and like stuff all like stacked up behind, like snow shovels and kids' bikes and things were all sort of like in the places that you would need to be able to drive through if you wanted to park in that spot. So in that cleanup effort, I also found all of my wool. And for the most part, it was more accessible than I thought. I thought it was in a stack in the way back that I would have to like climb over things. Nope. The cleanup effort led me back to my wool stash. And looking at my wool stash reminded me that I want to wash some more of it because I have so much of it. And I was just at the Shepherd's Harvest Festival somewhat regretting my life choices because the guy who was doing the sheepdog trials the puppy wants to play too. Had a pickup truck parked behind the grandstand with a sign that just said, take any bag of these like whole fleeces for $30 and just leave the cash in the back seat. There's a lockbox. And I was sorely tempted, but they were all long wools. And I have not done a ton with long wools. I have some little, like from my breed sample. I don't know if you guys remember that I bought one of these. I bought a breed sample study last year or the year before at the Shepherd's Harvest Festival, and I haven't been through half of them. I've used some sort of as a last minute addition to some other project where it wasn't about the breed study. It was about like, well, this goes with something I already have, so I'll just like throw it in there, which is not the point of that, but it's okay. So I haven't really spun much in the way of long wools, and I was intimidated, and I already have, as it turns out, 6 tote bins, like big ones, big tote bins full of sheep fleeces. And so it was the right choice to not fill another bin full of fleece, but I was like, I should have gotten that. Like, I really should have gotten that. And then I got home and I ended up doing this cleaning project, and now I feel better that I did not get that. Maybe next year I will get myself a little bit of long wool. But in the meantime, I have finally located the stack of bins. I have BFL, which it was my one big fleece purchase last year. It was submitted for grading, whatever, in the like award ceremony kind of situation. It didn't win anything, but I didn't show up until the last 15 minutes. I think last year I also ended up having to work over Mother's Day weekend, which is when the Shepherd's Harvest Festival happens. It happened to me again this year, which meant I have to decide between yarn shopping and sleep. That is a tough decision to make. This year, I also had promised my best friend's son that I would teach him how to drive stick because I am a manual user. There just aren't that many of us around here, and I would like to add more humans on the road who know how to drive stick and appreciate them so that those cars continue to exist and be well maintained in the universe. And also, since there aren't that many of us, it's hard for him to find somebody to learn with. So Saturday afternoon, that's what I was doing. I was teaching my friend's son, who's basically my nephew, because she's like my bestie. But anyway, how to drive with the stick shift. He was doing a great job. Then Sunday, which was Mother's Day, my mom and I and my 3 older kids, at the last minute, the 6-year-old decided that he wasn't going, which meant I didn't have to watch him or try to like make my older kids babysit suddenly, when that was not why they were there either. And what happened was, the first barn we went into, well, no, that's not true. My daughter and I drove together, and we got there and we went into the barn that has all of the sheep. And we met Martha.
Eat it, eat it. Oh, okay. What about this one? What about this one?
Yum.
Yum. Oh, you got some string.
This is Martha.
Martha.
She's the cutest.
Martha speaks.
Isn't she cute? We like her so much. We get to feed her a couple of dandelions. And we get to pet a baby, a little lamb. And yeah, so we went into the barn full of actual sheep, and then we went out to watch the sheepdog trials, and that was where everybody finally met up with each other. While I was in the barn with the sheepies, I'm gonna jump around today, I guess. We're gonna have story hour first. I bought this. I was told by my partner to find something that I really liked and buy it on his behalf. And this is it. It is a combination of Teeswater, speaking of long wools, Teeswater and cashmere. And it really is just as soft as it looks. It was the last one. And I went in with very specific goals in mind in terms of like what to do and what to not do for my shopping pleasure. And one of the things that I said was no single skeins. But this was the last one. It has cashmere in it. So my partner bought me this for Mother's Day. Wasn't that kind of him? Except I bought it for myself. You know, I'll make him pay me back later. It goes against my rules, but if it's from him, then that's not my problem. Now I'm just gonna leave it on my lap and pet it. I did not get a rabbit, so that was one of the things. I said that if I was going to buy something, I needed to buy a sweater quantity, and either of fleece or of yarn. And then I wanted a Turkish spindle. So I'll show you my daughter bought me this beauty. This is my second Turkish spindle. I've been wanting a second one so that I could maybe use it for teaching people. Isn't it fun? It is 1 ounce, 27 grams. And I really like it. And when you spin it, it gets that stripy effect. It's really fun. Anyway, it's a Snyder. The Snyder. Anyway, and then you'll notice I'm using some of the wool that I hand dyed from my dyeing experiment. I feel like maybe this is actually spinning a little too fast for this wool. This stuff seems like it would be good to be spun a little slower, be kind of floofier. But anyway, that was one of the items on my list that I had allowed myself and I found and was very pleased with. I told my son I wanted him to buy me a gyro from the food truck, and he did, and it was delicious. And then what else? Well, so what happened was we went, once everybody was together and after I had fended off the very desperate desire to get a whole fleece of, it was like Border Leicester or something else. Some other kind of long wool that I was like, I don't even know if I like these. It wasn't Blueface Leicester, which I do want, and that was something I was just saying. Oh, when I bought my one like graded fleece, I only had 15 minutes left. And so I ran in, found a black fleece, was excited about it, bought it. And then like that was it. Everything was done. I barely had time. And when I got home and actually got to have a look at it, I discovered that it was not very well graded because the fleece is really nice, but the fleece was shorn in such a way that a lot of the wool is like an inch long or less, which is wasteful. So probably one of the most expensive fleeces I have ever purchased is largely going to end up being dryer balls or garden floof. But I have had enough that I think I will get a whole sweater quantity out of it. I'm washing some more right now because I found it again, finally. It was the last bin I found. It was hiding under something dirty, and I didn't realize that it was one of my bins of wool. Anyway, so we walked into the first yarn barn, and we made it about 40 feet before we came to the Fiber MacGyver booth. And my mother and I had such a lovely time looking at the beautiful wool and discussing the possibility of, she wants to make a lento sweater, that we were there for over an hour. Susie, the dyer for Fiber MacGyver, is a lovely woman who I would like to now be besties with. I was like, and we're best friends forever. And she was like, yeah. And it is technically a sweater's quantity. I guess I decided I'm making a stripy sweater because this is what I ended up getting at the Fiber MacGyver booth. It is Shaniko DK, 100% Shaniko. I want to say it like it's Japanese, and it's not. It's a place in Oregon. And just like you have to be careful to say Oregon, not Oregon, which is a city in Wisconsin. This one is the roasted pecan. Yes. And this one is the sage. My mother and I were both obsessed with this color. She ended up buying, what did she get? She got sage in the alpaca, or it was either in Surrey alpaca or mohair, but some kind of lace weight floof. And then also in something else, and she was going to hold them double, and she wants to make a lento sweater, which I already said. I went straight home and bought her the pattern. We're going to get together and make things. I also kind of wanted like a whole sweater quantity of just this, but something about this was calling to me. I'm spacing out, thinking about. I don't think she got the Shaniko. I think she got something else. But anyway, my kids circled back a couple times to be like, are you guys serious? They had like gone through a whole other barn and like stopped and got food and did some other things, and finally we left. But that is the entirety of my haul from the Shepherd's Harvest Festival, except for my mom found this and she got me this. I'll have to make sure that the video is flipped the right way. It says, I stopped knitting for good. Now I only knit for evil. It's true. I mean, being selfish is evil, right? Technically. Yeah. So that was my wonderful, very short-lived trip to the Shepherd's Harvest Festival, because by the time we ate a gyro and went into the next barn, they were already starting to pack up and leave. My mom bought some soap. She loves a fancy soap. And then we went home. I was a little disappointed, but I have so much. It's fine. I don't need more, but except that I like to look at everything. The only yarn that I was seriously considering circling back for, but felt like it was being ridiculous or we didn't have time, is I have not yet gotten one of those little lumpy bumpy yarns. What are they called? I guess it's boucle, and part of it is that I hated the acrylic boucle yarns that were all the rage from the like Joanne fabric type stores, the big fat boucle. But now they're making skinnier ones from fancy yarn providers and indie dyers and stuff, and that is way more my speed, and I want to try it. But so that's the only kind of yarn that I don't have that I've been thinking about a lot and didn't get. So what did I want to tell you? Well, what have I been working on? This. You know, the funny thing for me, I was thinking about, like, I make things so quickly, but then there's always this sort of like gap while I dream about what am I going to do next. And sometimes the dreaming is the thing that takes the most time. Oh, here, the other thing I was going to say. So the spinning mojo is back, but what I ended up doing is plying. Somehow I think I spun 2 of these in like the S direction and 1 of them in the Z, so then I had to ply it differently. So we've got a 2-ply and we've got a cable ply, and I don't know how I did that. Probably because I was just doing it with my hands and I just did whatever felt good and didn't think too hard about it. Whoops. Or they weren't really in the opposite direction and I was just confused. I couldn't really tell. But anyway, this is the lovely alpaca that Wax brought me back from Canada. Finally all plied up. It's so soft and fluffy. Gotta get it off of here and figure out what I want to do with it. And this, speaking of Shepherd's Harvest Festival, is this is from some Rolags that I bought last year's Shepherd's Harvest, and I had spun 3 plies. You'll notice it's a 2-ply by the time we get to the end, because my evenness still has something much to be desired, but I had these just sitting on toilet paper rolls, and I finally decided I would ply it up. I don't have any other plans for it, but it's so pretty. And then I ran out, and then I Indian plied, and then I ran out again. And then I was down to 2, and so now it's the 2-ply at the end. But it's so skinny, I don't think it's gonna matter. And there's not very much of it, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I also finished the Purple Rain yarn, and I don't have it in here, and I'm not going to pause and go get it. I'm sorry. I barely won bobbin chicken. It is packed all the way out to the edge. And I was being very careful to get it all packed on there. It looks so good. It looks so good. I love it so much. Okay, what else? Well, I was talking about that BFL. The last of the BFL that I had that was clean, I put through the drum carder so that I can continue with my spinning project. This cop needs to get transferred onto this turtle, and then I should probably take this off. And ply it up so that I can see how many sweater quantities I have now. No, if I have a sweater quantity yet or not. If you saw my last episode, you know that I'm thinking about using it to make the Cream Cardi by Alicia Plummer, whose name I finally remember. It's so cute. I don't know if I've made any Alicia Plummer patterns. Have I? So what else is going on? I suddenly, for the last 2 days, have actually been working on my Ghost Horses sweater. We have horses. Can you see the horsies? Can you see them? You see the horsey? They're so pretty. And these needle stoppers were a free gift with purchase from the Fiber MacGyver booth. Apparently, this is her camper van. She had these made. They're so cute. And I'm actually using needle stoppers. I've never had these before, but I'll take them as a free gift. I've been thinking about trying them. I don't hate it. Thanks, Max. Okay, let's see what else. While I was looking at other summer knits, which is probably the thing we're going to talk about now because that's all that I've been doing lately. I have a sock in my work bag. I didn't unpack it because I have to work today. I'm always making a sock lately. One of the summer garments that I was making listed this yarn, which is Cassell Kobasi, which turns out to be, it's like bits of the three things that it's made out of. So it's like cotton, bamboo, silk, Kobasi. I bought this years ago. I was thinking that instead of silk, it was some sort of stretch and that it should be a good, I originally bought it thinking that I would make fancy gloves with like little floral lace and baubles and things. I mean, like a decade ago. This was way outside of my comfort zone. And so much so that I never got any farther than balling up this yarn. But apparently I'm on a summer clothing sort of kick. One of the things that I made last year that I'm really excited about is the mini mock neck tank. And I'm not sure if I have enough of this for that. The other color that I have is a butter yellow, which I know is like very au courant right now. I'm on a lavender kick personally. I'm at the opposite end of the color wheel as usual, causing trouble. I got my greedy little mitts on the camisole number 9 pattern. I have enough yarn to make another one of these if I were so inclined. And I spent an hour in the middle of the night, this deep in the 4 o'clock hour when I woke up for no reason, scrolling through Ravelry, looking at free summer knit patterns. I don't know if you guys can use Ravelry. I know it's still causing trouble for some people. I personally put it to dark mode and I turned off all of the little like dancy guys or whatever was supposed to be a problem. And I don't have any trouble looking at it. And it is like, it soothes the shopping part of my brain. So I spent the middle of the night last night looking at Ravelry because one of the things that I really like to do when I have some time and no idea how I want to waste my life is using the advanced search function to kind of like look for something very specific. So I was looking at sleeveless and t-shirt and crochet and fingering weight and boat neck. Like put those all together and see what happens. And free. What do you got? And I found a couple of things that are really cute. And then, take out the crochet bit or add knitting, whatever, because I can do both. And crochet is not my go-to, but I was thinking it might be fun to try. And then, have you guys seen, there's this boat neck tank that's really popular right now. And I have owned a number of boat neck shirts over the years, and I almost never wear them. This is like a nice scoop neck racerback tank top is like my summer go-to. It's the thing that I will wear the most often. And if not this, then, the kind of tank top that you can find at any big box store, Target, Walmart, etc., for like $5 or $6, where it's just like a ribbed tank top in all of their various iterations, like racerback or with straps or whatever, like all of those sorts of things. I'm a tank top girly all day long, or dresses with pockets. And I did try, you may remember, crocheting a dress with pockets, but it's not going to be my go-to. It's just not. Oh, I'm gonna sit back. Why am I so? I'm like stressing myself out. Welcome to our hangout sesh, my friends. Like I said, I didn't sleep that well last night, but I did sleep in later after Chase got on the bus. I was deeply sleeping. It was great. And the weather is weird, which helps with staying in bed. So the other thing that I was looking for was, you may remember last week, or whenever that was, last episode, I was talking about, I got some hot pink floof. Here, actually, I've got it right here. I got some hot pink floof to go with some of the hot pink fingering weight yarn so that I can make a DK weight sweater. So of course I was Googling, things in my library that are DK weight. Here's the hot pink floof. Here is the yarn that I had just lurking about. So the eyeballs did not deceive. Holding these together should be super fun. What do I want to make with this? That's what I was Googling. What do I want to make? DK weight, floofy, not detracting from this amazing color. Ooh. And where did I end up? The diaphanous raglan? I don't think that's what I'm going to make with this. I don't know. I don't think that's the thing. I know. So I was a Pom Pom magazine subscriber for a couple of years. And I've still never made anything out of there. Out of the dozen or so, I'm like looking at them over there. How many? Oh, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. At least a dozen. There was this oversized, super cute sweater with ruffles just on the sleeves. There's also the souffle has ruffles across the boob line, but I was thinking I might do that. And it's there's the one with the ruffles on the sleeves technically has like a striping option. And I have another kind of hot pink yarn, and I could stripe massive obnoxiousness, or I could skip the stripes and just have the ruffles, and it would be like the most Barbie sweater. Again, a year late, whatever. Also, I grabbed this out thinking if I was gonna do something fun, this might be a good color that goes along with it. This is a peanut butter and jelly by La Bien-Aimée on Twist Nouveau. You'll notice that this is a twisty yarn. What is this yarn? Pink tourmaline by yarn, La Hala. Okay. I think I got this secondhand off of like eBay. I might have purchased it from a D-stash many years ago. And then I've just sat looking at it and thinking, do I want to make a little yellow sweater that's actually hot pink? But now I've decided I'm going to hold it double with floof. DK weight sweaters go so much faster. And I have so much fingering weight yarn and not so much interest in making nonstop fingering weight sweaters. So, in other news, I decided that I am finally going to Fisher cut bait. This, do you remember this? This yarn I bought last year, 2 years ago. No, this yarn I caked up last year with the intention of making the Moonset tee by Ozetta. Is that what I think so. This is lavender loon. It's got cotton and some other stuff going on. I'll have to look at the description, because usually when I take these off of the ball winder, I pop the tag into the middle to hold the center, but I don't seem to have done that here. Disappointing. I also swatched this and decided on a fabric I liked last year or the year before. So it's in an old journal, and I'm like, do I really have to go looking through my journals to figure out what was the fabric I liked? Sigh. It's okay. So anyway, it's really soft. Oh, it's really soft. But I decided that a t-shirt out of this, like I was freaking myself out, and I was hesitating because I don't think I have enough. But I was wrong about how much fabric I was going to need, or how much yarn I was going to need for this. I was wrong about how much of the, I don't know, I took these all out and I'm just looking at them. The linen quill I needed for my ranunculus. Here, look. I was weighing. How much do I have? There is one whole skein of this gray. This is linen quill. Here's black. And look how these are two different colors of white or cream. Can you see? This one is cool and this one is warm. Is it more obvious against the black? I think so. Yeah. So I was thinking I would make a stripy t-shirt out of this stuff. I think that'll be super cute. I was considering the Tolsta tee, but I'm not sure if I am in the mood to buy things. What else? Two of Wands has a super cute free DK weight t-shirt that I want to make. That was one of the summer knits I was considering casting on. I could always make another ranunculus. I've got more than enough. I could make it stripy. What else did I want to talk to you about? Anyway, now that the weather is getting nice here in the Northern Hemisphere, it is hard to not want to knit all the summery things. And I love summer clothing, and it's really fun to make my own stuff. Like Me Made May always gives me terrible FOMO because I don't sew clothing yet. So if it's not knitted, I can't wear something that I made myself. Like there's just nothing. You just wear socks forever. But one of the summer pieces of clothing I was looking at was using this yarn that I own. This has been sitting in my stash for so long, I'm a little bit nervous to unball it, because if I did the ball too tight, this yarn's going to be wrecked. It might already be wrecked. But I want to give it a try. It's only fair. Yeah, I think it's trying to apparently it's a 3 or 4 ply and it's trying to unravel itself. It's like freedom. I want to know what you are excited to do for the summer. Are you a knitted tank top person? No. Oh, I saw the most gorgeous. I will find a picture of it because I do not remember the name of it, but it's free. It's a t-shirt pattern. It's a saddle shoulder, and the model is this gorgeous man. And I want to make the t-shirt for myself. I mean, a big, like oversized, masculine presenting t-shirt is such a staple in anybody's wardrobe. And it doesn't hurt that this guy is very nice to look at, but like, it's a free pattern. You could make it for somebody else if you didn't want it for yourself, or you can make it for yourself, and it's so pretty and it's free and it's DK weight. And I have an absolute ton of like Lion brand, True Boo, and New Boo. There's like a bunch of different ones that all end in boo because they have bamboo in them, but I have a ton of it. Oh, which reminds me, I finally got this bad boy out and started looking at and tried it on. See, I put it on the old barber cord, and I tried on my what should be a romper and is right now the highest waisted shorts of all time. Is made out of True Boo, 100% rayon from bamboo. Boop. But I got these on and decided that if I just went for the next stage, like I think technically, if you're talking about the measurements according to the pattern, what is this? Did I tell you? This is the Navigo romper. Navigo. Patricia. Oh, I think she's Portuguese. That's why I'm trying to make it sound exotic. I was supposed to be a test knitter, but I obviously didn't finish the test. This was over a year ago. She released, there's a whole series of patterns that go with this. And this is for the romper. I was really excited about it, but I don't know, I got stuck in the weeds somewhere. And she retracted the pattern from, it was like we all had a Google login or whatever, and so I ended up having to buy it to finish some test knitter I turned out to be. But she made shorts, she made a little skirt, I don't know if there's a dress option, and then there's a romper, and maybe also a top, which, could be reverse engineered, but I have a long torso, and if I were to just go on to the next stage of this, I would end up with a terrible wedgie at all times, and that is not how I want to live my life when I'm trying to be in something cool and cute for the summertime. So my plan is to knit. I tried it on, and it's supposed to end like 2 inches below your bra line, which I guess technically it does, but I think I'm still going to add another inch of body and then do the next thing so that I have more leeway in the shorts, and because otherwise I'm just going to be flashing my undies all the time. That's not really my vibe. That's not how I like to live my summertime life. I want to be able to be comfortable and not worry about like adjusting myself. And I think that would be the easiest way to continue forward. But anyway, I'm very excited to start working on this again. I was reading last night in my probably perimenopausal insomnia. I was reading the directions for like the next part to do, and I'm excited about it. So once I do my last little inch of knitting, where is it? Oh my gosh, I was supposed to be signing off, wasn't I? I think I'm all out of things to talk about. 72 other things to talk about. This is it, guys. This is the Minnesota goodbye. Look at the thing that I bought. Work Until measuring tape. That's what it's called. I got this. It was the last one that I could find in the store. I got this at Darn It Anyway when I was doing my little shopping spree. And so the idea is I could like put this in the loop of the yarn that I'm working on. Hang on a second. You can't knit it. You can't. That's a weird choice. For knitting. I haven't actually opened this yet. Oh. They're showing it as like, put it on your needles and then work until. But see, I was always thinking about the other way, because I'm always like at a point in my knitting where I'm like, okay, I just want to go like one more, but like going bottom up, I want this to be attached to where I am now so that I can knit until it hits that spot. Here, can you see? It's upside down. Wow. Okay. But so like if I wanted to do another inch or inch and a half, adjust this guy. Please don't break. And then now it says 1 inch. Like attach this and say just work 1 more inch. But with what I've got going on, I actually need to like use one of these guys and attach it to the fabric and knit until it hits that 1 inch spot, which would then be more than an inch because this is long too. I'd have to account for this, but I'll figure it out, or I'll use it for the way that they tell you to do. But yeah, I would have expected this bit on the end to be a claspable guy, because then you could hook it to the actual work and work, like from this part in the work, go 2 more inches. That's usually how my brain needs one of these. But I was also thinking about putting this on my weaving. Again, I will have to attach one of these guys. But my placemats that I am making on the loom are each 17 inches long. And the space that I have to do my weaving work is not 17 inches. So it already, as you can see, the fabric goes over the breast beam there, that piece of wood along the front. And so I'm having to use a measuring tape and kind of come up and over and like, how far have we made it now? You know, because I'm doing it in fits and starts and I'm not like counting, you know, this is row number 702 per whatever. And every one of them so far has been a little bit different. I did one where it was like tweed and the stripes are in different places, and I'm just kind of doing it by feel because I've never done this before and I want it to keep being fun. And because it's mine and I can, whatever. But anyway, I have like 2 inches left on my weaving to do. And instead of like getting through a section and then continually measuring it, it would be so much easier if I just attach this bad boy and then I could just pull it out. Are we out there? Have we reached it yet? And, you know, just flip it out of the way and then flip it back. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Like a child. This will answer my inner child. Have we made it? Are we there yet? Anyway, I still think this tool would be helpful. Could I have totally made something like this myself? Yeah, probably. But I like to support creative people who come up with solutions for the problem I didn't even realize I needed a solution for. Nifty gadget. Okay. Well, I think that's all we've got for today, my friends. It's been a lovely time hanging out with you. I hope that your spring is springing and that if you still have any contact with your mother, or if you are a mother, you had a happy Mother's Day. And I don't know why I would assume people don't have contact with their mother. Hopefully your mom is awesome. And if not, from this mother, we love you. Thanks for being in the world. I don't know, guys. This part is always so weird and hard. I'm supposed to have like a signature sign off and I don't have it. So thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. If you're into that YouTube-y stuff, please like, comment, subscribe, share, etc. And if you're not, that's okay. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. I hope that you are doing something that you love, be it making or baking or sitting on your bum watching television. Whatever it is, go for a walk, sit in some grass, anything that you enjoy. I hope that you get some time to do a thing that you enjoy. And I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.